Alright, welcome. So the consequences of sexual indulgence. This video is all about sexual indulgence and why it's actually so detrimental. So what are the actual real consequences of indulging sexually, of wasting our sexual energy, and of using it in an inferior sense, in an inferior way? So sexual energy itself is the most powerful, the most potent energy that we as human beings have access to, and we contain it right within our bodies. Right? We contain it right within our bodies, and it is what makes up who we are. Right? And because of this is why it is so negative and so detrimental for you if you are going to allow yourself to be taken into this addiction. If you are going to allow yourself to indulge sexually, you have to realize what you're actually taking from yourself, right? So for any of you guys who are interested in self-improvement and you would like help on your first steps, or if you're already into self-improvement and you'd like help taking it to the next level, you can go ahead and click that top link in the description. That'll be my coaching program. It'll just be a call, one-on-one call, where we can discuss the program itself and if you'd be a good fit. And if you're more comfortable in DMs, you can go ahead and click that second link. That's my Instagram. You can go over there and you can DM me there. So I quickly just want to discuss what my sins costed, what my sexual sins costed. What was the price of my sins? And the price of my sins was my goals, was the things that I had set out for, was the things that I had desired, the things that I had looked to achieve. And these things were the reason I built up all of this energy in the first place, right? You build up energy when you desire to go and achieve a new version of yourself. You build up all this energy, all this momentum, all this motivation. But if this energy gets stuck sexually in lust, you lose your ability to go and achieve those goals. You lose your ability to go out and actually pursue to your fullest extent those goals. And because you can't fully pursue them, you'll never be able to fully achieve them. It requires full 100% effort and energy into something in order to achieve it. And so if you're not able to put forth that effort, you won't be able to achieve any goals, right? And so for me, I had set multiple goals, multiple clear goals, and I had been working towards them for months, right? And then I got caught sexually. I got caught in lust again. And because I got caught in lust and I lost this vitality, I lost this energy, I lost all this potential, the cost of doing that was those goals. I lost those goals as a result of wasting that potential and that energy. So I'm going to get into why sexual sin is actually so bad. The first reason why it is so negative and so detrimental is because it's simply an act against yourself, right? It is an act against your being. It is an act against you as a person, as a human being, as a soul, right? It is an act against yourself because you are taking your own energy, you are taking your own vitality, you are taking your own life force and solar energy and potential. And instead of utilizing it, instead of caring for it properly, instead of cultivating it properly, instead you waste it and you expel it for means of pleasure, right? You indulge this energy, you indulge yourself, your own energy, your own potential, your own power for self-gratification and pleasure in the moment. And what this does is it costs you that vitality and that power. It takes away that vitality and potential from you. And so you now no longer have access to it, right? You no longer have access to the fullness of yourself, to the full expression of your being, because you have indulged it, right? You have lost it. So the next thing is the power of sex as a double-edged sword. So sex itself is a double-edged sword. It is one of the most powerful and one of the most creative acts out there. Right? There is nothing greater and more powerful and more potent than sex, right? And if you truly understand what I mean by sex, you will understand this to be true. And any of those who are trying to argue with that point, saying this, that, and the third is actually more important than sex, you don't understand what I'm talking about. You don't understand what I refer to as sex, right? But sex itself is a double-edged sword. It can both be the most powerful and most creative force out there, but it can also be the most destructive force out there, right? It can be the most positive force out there, but it can also be the most detrimental, right? So it is able to solidify things into reality. It has the potential to bring things into and solidify concrete things into reality, right? And the solidification of things into reality can happen both positively and negatively. It's dependent on how you use it. And so this force, as powerful as it is, for most is being used to destroy. It is being used to both destroy themselves, right? The individual, but also those around them, the world around them, right? And this is our constant state, right? This is where we are constantly using the sexual energy. And of course, we believe as human beings, as a result of this, we believe as human beings that humans are flawed and evil and sick, because we are, in the sense that we are sick because we are utilizing our sexual energy this way. We have become sick as a species because we have forgotten the proper use of our sexual energy, and now we have only learned to use it destructively. And so the next thing is it leads us to the second greatest sin, which is laziness, which is lethargy, right? To not put forth as much effort as we're capable. And those who are entitled believe that they don't need to put forth as much effort as they're capable of, just as much as they need to survive, to get by, the bare minimum, right? But as humans, it is not just our right, but our obligation to putting forth our fullest effort. We are drained vitally, right? If we are drained sexually and we have no vitality, it will be very difficult to do so. And this will make you lazier. And as a result, being lazy is the second greatest sin. As a result, you are doubling down on your acting against yourself, right? You are only harming yourself by spending time on the couch. As much as you might like to convince yourself that it's good for you because you need to rest, right? You're only harming yourself by doing so. So the last thing is the creation of lust. By indulging sexually, right? By giving in to orgasm, right? By giving into lust, by giving into the desire for sex, right? We create lust. We create lust because we are acting out of desire and not out of virtue, not out of love, right? We are acting out of desire. We are acting out of selfish intent. And this selfish intent is what creates lust, right? Each time you indulge lust, you don't satisfy the craving, you create more lust. Lust is uncontrollable desire. So the more lust you create, the more desire you have. So the more you indulge it, the less satisfied you actually become. So why the cost is your goals, right? Why does it take your goals specifically? And the first answer to that is that semen is required for change. We need this sexual energy within our body in order to be able to change, in order to be able to transform. Semen is the resource by which we transform. Semen is the resource by which we change. So without this resource, without this energy that allows us to create more of ourselves, therefore change, therefore adapt, we need this sexual energy, we need the semen in order to do that. And so if we are indulging sexually, we are losing that vitality, we are losing that resource, and therefore we are losing our ability to change and transform. So the next thing is a lowered frequency. It lowers your frequency to a state that is lower than your goal, and so it makes it impossible for you to achieve it because your state, your frequency, doesn't actually reflect, does not match the goal that you have. And so as a result, you continue to fight and push for your goal, but you will never actually reach it because you don't align to it. So the next thing is you're acting as an animal. So if you are acting as an animal, this means that you are acting from your lower impulses. You are a slave to your impulses. You are acting from your primal desires. And for us to be able to create a goal, for us to be able to manifest a change, we are acting from our intellect. We are acting from the higher faculties of our being. And so if we are acting as an animal by indulging sexually, by giving into lust, by having animalistic, passionate sex, or engaging in any type of masturbation, or basically just having sex from those lower impulses, right? Having sex as an animal, like an animal, right? Where we are just blind and simply giving into these feelings, giving into this energy, giving into these impulses. We are lowering our state, right? We are matching this lowered state, and so therefore we're not actually able to utilize the higher faculties, right? Utilize our mind in such a way, our intellect in such a way that we can create a change, right? Animals cannot control their realities, right? Humans are gifted in the sense that we have the ability to control our realities, but not if we are living from our animalistic impulses. So the next thing is creating a content state of being. Because when you become content, which is what happens when you indulge sexually, when you become content, you don't feel this need, this burning passion, this burning desire to go and improve, this burning desire to go and build and create your goals. And so therefore, because you don't have this burning desire anymore, you won't do the work. You may show up, but you won't do the work required to actually go and make progress. And so being in this content state makes it easier for you to put off the work. It makes it easier for you to half-ass the work. Makes it easier for you to put in less effort and therefore make less progress. So if you guys are interested in completely transforming your lives through self-improvement, you can go ahead and work with me using those links in the description. And if you guys want to see more content on self-improvement, on semen retention and sexual transmutation, and going and achieving your highest version of yourself, you can go ahead and click the subscribe button. Almost scattered, but all right. I'll see you guys. Peace.